It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. Today I'm taking a look at Microworld, a game just for two players in which one side is going to be taking on the role of a virus, the other side combating that virus as the antibodies, and so you are trying to grab the most region, the best tissues, and control that, get the most victory points. Let me show you how this works. It's very straightforward. Then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I thought of it. So here's what the game looks like, set up, ready to begin. I'm going to be giving you a look at just the basic game, but there are some rules you can add in later on for more variety. I'll give you just a quick look at those later on, but for now, basic game. You have the virus here and the antibodies are going to be going at it, trying to control this area, get the most victory points that you are scoring here on the outside. The board is modular. I've set it up here, but you can switch these out. It's kind of a tight fit, but you can, you know, they're all double-sided, so you can make whatever combination here you'd like. And then we put these special little bonus tokens in the designated spots. You are ready to begin. Whoever's playing the virus is going to remove one of these, and they are going to place their first virus there, and then you begin the game proper. The other player will go next, and on your turn you are simply going to be playing next to the last placed token. And so this player can now go in here, they can go in there, or in there. Once you play, you are going to score points immediately for every one of your own color that you are touching. And so upon this playing, that player will score nothing. The other player will go now and they will play here and score 1 point immediately for being adjacent to this one. Back to the antibodies, they will play, no, not there, they have to play next to this one. They're going to play here. And then this one, let's say, is going to play here. This player will play there. And then the virus will play here. When you play somewhere that has one of these tokens, you are going to keep it, and it's going to give you a special power at some point in the game. All right? And there comes with a little board here that tells you all of the special powers. They let you do things like play where someone else has already played, like double down. You can flip one of them face down and it won't count. You can move them around. You can do lots of things. Place in any free cell on the board. The one I've actually taken here says that I can move the opponent's last placed pawn to a free adjacent cell. Okay? So that's all the things you can do. So that player would keep that. You continue doing this until the game is over. Then you are going to score. And again, every time you play here, you do get victory points for playing adjacent to yourself. So what I've done here would not have given any points to anybody, but normally if you do play adjacent to yourself, so let's say it's this player's turn again and they play here, they do get that point. Sometimes you can get a bunch of points from being adjacent to many of your own tokens. Okay? End of the game, players will already have some points, and then you count up the rest, which is quite simple. Area majority in these regions here. So as an example, I'm just going to put out some more tokens here, just for the sake of the explanation, and we're going to take a look at just this one area. You would do this for all of them, okay? This large red area here has 3 yellow tokens, 2 purple tokens, and so yellow, the antibodies here are going to score it, and they get a point per region. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You do that for all of them. Anything that is a tie, this region, for example, would be a tie 1-1, simply does not score for either player. Continue doing this until you've scored all of them. The player with the highest score is the winner. And so that's pretty much it. However, pretty soon you're going to want to spice up the game, and so you're going to be adding in some special rules that come in the game here, so that you can have new things to worry about, new scoring opportunities, things like that. For example, this one here says that muscular tissue, red tissue, scores double points. And so you are going to want to make sure you focus on that. This one says that each player starts with a starting power, one of those little tokens, at the beginning of the game, because there are 2 that are never placed on the board. And so you start with a little something. Again, some of these are very minor, right? But some are a little more interesting. Like this one here is not as small a deal. It says you draw one of these tiles here, and you play it next to the board, and it gives a special scoring opportunity. Like this one, whoever gets 4 of those tokens first, plus 5 victory points. You know, whoever controls that first, 5 victory points. Whoever gets to 15 first, 5 victory points. And so those are a big swing. It's something to watch out for. If you don't want something as swingy, then play without this one. Use something a little more straightforward, like this one saying that mucus tissues, the green, don't score any points. Okay? So there's a bunch of them. You can mix and match however you want to do it. Several ways to explore there, but that's pretty much it. That's how you play the game. Control the most areas, get the most victory points, and you are the winner of Microworld. This one gets a lot of points from me for the interesting theme and the colorful, cartoony look of the whole thing. The gameplay itself is fine. It's an enjoyable game. I would say it doesn't quite match the originality of that theme. You know, the game does not feel particularly strategic. It does not feel new. It doesn't feel like anything original, really. And so, unfortunately, if that's what you were hoping for, I don't think you're going to get it in this one. But if you want a simple, straightforward 2-player game with the ability to add a little variability in there, you are going to get that from the little special tiles. And there is some replayability here. I think you can get a good amount of plays out of this before you start to feel bored with it, assuming that you are okay with the game being very light, because it really is very light. Your plays are quite limited. When it's your turn, you have to play next to the last piece played. And I think that rule right there is the one that, to me, makes the whole endeavor feel a little underwhelming, I guess. You know, it's not as... There are no moments in this game when I'm going to feel like I just made an amazing move. Wow, do I feel clever. And I want games that reward that moment, or that feature that moment, you know, where you feel like you pulled something off that you deserve a pat on the back for. You know, I like that in games. This one, I don't know if ever is going to feature that moment for the players. But having said all that, it is nice looking, it is clever, it's quick, and it's going to have some replayability for you. You know, I like that the board is modular. That all works very well. And so, there you have it. This one does get a seal of approval from me for that target audience. You know, you want a 2-player game that is simple. Maybe you can play this one with the kids, and they're going to get a kick out of the slightly icky theme. Then I think this is a good pickup for you. That is Microworld.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.